Well, I just obtained an original copy of Senate Document 264, was published in June of 1936 by the government publication offices. And this was a presentation given to a investigative committee in the U.S. Senate where they're looking into the fertility value of U.S. soils. And this was data that had been published in magazines throughout the United States and North America, maybe even Europe. And it was based on research from veterinary schools and agricultural schools and big universities. And the title of the presentation was, Is There Government Documented Depletion of American Soils? And then the subtitle was Modern Miracle Men. And basically, this was, again, presented to this U.S. Senate committee. It's a agricultural committee in the U.S. Senate, June 1936. And basically what they said was, our soils are completely depleted. And what they say is that I'm quoting now from the presentation to the Senate, impoverished soil of America no longer provides plant foods with the mineral elements essential to human nourishment and health. To overcome this alarming condition, they have to add nutrients to the soil to bring it up to where it raises truly healthy, health-giving fruits and vegetables. Well, of course, once they found out how expensive that was going to be, they just sort of trashed the whole idea. We can't raise taxes and make that happen. Well, when did all this start? Remember, this is the U.S. government now hearing this in 1936, that our soils are totally depleted. This is based on university studies, veterinary school studies, and agricultural school studies, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So, why doesn't our food have nutritional in it? Well, it goes back to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882. And what happened was, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge, the guy by the name of Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant. Within 10 years after that event, and that was in every newspaper the next day because we had telegraph at that time, every newspaper had that story in it the next day. It was like world known immediately, and took 10 years. By then, every town and every city in the industrialized world, including North America and Europe, had converted from wood as the universal fuel to electricity. And we had been using wood ashes, a.k.a. plant minerals called wood ashes, thrown into the gardens to fertilize our plants. And of course, the corn and beans and peas and lentils and squash and potatoes and sweet potatoes and onions and carrots and okra and whatever else you're growing out there, sucked all these minerals up, and for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, that had been our mineral supplement. That has been our source of nutritional minerals, was through giving the wood ashes to our foods and then eating the foods that sucked up all these minerals. Well, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, on the bluff overlooking the construction of Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plants. Within 10 years, there was no more wood ashes available to us because nobody fueled their house with wood anymore. It was all electricity. There's no wood ashes left over when you fuel your home with electricity. Well, it got worse because everybody liked electricity, and so politicians jumped in and said, look, you vote for us, and we will give you electricity in the Tennessee Valley. You vote for us, we'll electrify the southwestern United States with the Hoover Dam, and they did. I mean, everybody was happy. I mean, everybody got electricity. Nobody had to chop wood. Nobody had to go out in the cold to get wood and restart the fire in the morning for heat and light, cooking. But there was an unintended consequence. When you dam up the rivers to make hydroelectric power, there was no more annual spring flooding. The most expensive and the most fertile agricultural land throughout the world, even yet today, is floodplains where it floods every spring. When the water recedes, when the flood water recedes, it leaves behind silt, which are the minerals from mountains hundreds or maybe even thousands of miles upstream from those fields. Well, that's all gone. So no more wood ashes, no more silt from spring floods, and farmers aren't paid by how many nutrients are in the soil or in the food. They're paid by tons of bushels per acre. And so to get maximum yields, all you need is 3 elements, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and that's all they put in. If they were to put in everything you need in your diet into the soil, a loaf of bread would be $18. And nobody can pay $18 for a loaf of bread. And so that's what's not going to happen. And so what do? You got to consciously supplement with all 90 cents of nutrients. Otherwise, you're in trouble. Okay? Now, in the animal industry, we did that right away because we don't have health insurance for animals. We have life insurance for expensive racehorses, but we don't have health insurance for farm animals like chickens and sheep and pigs and horses and cows and so on, or even pet animals. And so what we learned was that if we gave these animals everything they needed, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids, to maximize their genetic potential for longevity, for health, for fending off all birth defects, you can name, and 10 times that many you can't. Okay? For maximizing the production of milk and meat and eggs per pound of feed, we could provide economical amount of food. Okay? But animals got all this nutrition, and we didn't. Okay? So there's the problem. Therein lies the problem. So we have to begin to do this for ourselves, because you're not going to get it from your food. Ask Steve Jobs. He died at 56, and he's paid $1,000 per meal. Had the top 5-star vegan chef. He was an unsupplemented vegan, and he died at 56 from complications of a deficient diet. So contact your longevity associate and ask for the books Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Disease Transmission, Rare Earth Forbidden Cures, and Immortality, and learn how you can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life by supplementing with the 90 essential nutrients. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us?
Well, this one is going to be good for a lot of people in longevity because, a lot of people you've recommended go on the gluten-free diet. And this ABC News story is headlined, "Your gluten-free diet may be a tax write-off." They say cutting bread from your diet could potentially save you some bread on your taxes, according to financial experts, as diet gurus debate whether or not people, who haven't been diagnosed with celiac disease, if it's good for them to be on a gluten-free diet, which, of course, is the grains wheat, rye, and barley. So on average, the gluten-free versions of many foods were 242% higher than the regular products, and I can attest to that because in fact, I was at the grocery store over the weekend. I was looking in the bread aisle just to see if they had any gluten-free bread, because some put it in its own section and others just mix it in with the regular stuff. And I found one that was $4.49 for 5 slices of bread. So it is a lot higher, and I can attest to that because my grocery bill has gone up a lot since I decided to go gluten-free. And that all comes from the National Institute of Health. According to Mark Luscombe, he is a principal federal tax analyst for a tax publisher, CCH, and said some of the additional expense of going gluten-free may be a legitimate tax write-off. So if you have a recognized disease where gluten-free foods help manage the condition, you have a certificate from your doctor, you may be able to take a deduction. You say it's good news for the 1% of the population with celiac disease, which of course is a diagnosed intolerance of gluten. It causes severe gastrointestinal symptoms and increased risk of some cancers. Should be able to write off the extra cost of buying the gluten-free items, plus the cost of shipping if you buy them online. Foods that contain xanthan gum or sorghum flour can be deducted fully because they have no gluten-filled alternative. Go on to say about 30% of Americans, according to consumer group NDP, avoid gluten because they believe they have some sort of insensitivity to it. He said he doubted that those people would be able to take a write-off. Even someone with celiac will have to work hard for the tax break. They will need to get a note from their doctor, will have to keep meticulous track of how much more they spend on gluten-free products than other similar products, which means every time you go to the grocery store, if you buy a loaf of bread, you'll have to look and see what the other bread that's non-gluten-free it costs, and then do the deduction. And then they go on to say that saving you'll have to save all your receipts, make notes of the different price differences. In addition to getting any deduction, all medical expenses must exceed 10% of gross adjusted income or 7.5% of people older than 65. Well, at least there's a hope out there for us, Doc.
Yeah, it's a little bit. But, myself, over the last 25 years, I've just totally given up bread, even gluten-free bread. And I've been able to lose an extra 15 pounds just by giving up gluten-free bread and gluten-free crackers and gluten-free cakes and all that kind of stuff. I just live on vegetables, a little bit of fruit, and mostly eggs and fish and poultry and beef. And so I've just totally gone away from grains. Even if it's gluten-free, because of the expense difference, I actually save money and save a lot of calories just by giving up the whole category of grains. Even rice, I give all that up. It's just too many calories. And, of course, even rice, cooked rice, it'll spike your sugar more than, like a couple of tablespoons of rice will spike your sugar more than a tablespoon of table sugar. And so you really got to watch it. There's two pieces. Even if it's gluten-free, doesn't mean it's not carbohydrates, doesn't have carbohydrate calories, and doesn't turn into sugar when you eat it. So you have two problems going on even with gluten-free breads and crackers and cookies and cakes and desserts and so on, right? So you got to watch that piece. You can be gluten-free without bread. And so no need to spend $4 for 4 slices of bread. Okay, thank you for the information. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to Independence, Missouri. And Doug, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, Doug, you're on the air.
Oh, hi, Doc. Thanks a lot for your help.
Yes, sir. What's up?
I have a question for a lady and then for a little puppy. This lady has what they're calling an Alterstone tumor on her adrenal gland. And because of it, she takes like 3 different blood pressure meds. And also her thyroid is apparently low because she's been gaining weight. And she's like 100.
Okay, go back to the tumor on the thyroid. Excuse me. Go back to the tumor on the adrenal gland. What kind of tumor did they say?
Alterstone. ALDER.
Oh, aldosterone. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. Alterstone. I didn't know that one. Aldosterone. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And are they saying this is a malignant tumor or non-malignant tumor?
No, it's not malignant, but it's
yeah, it's affecting all the other affecting all the other glands in her body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how much does she weigh?
165 pounds, 5 foot 8 inches.
Okay. So from that standpoint, she's not overweight. Is she having any like facial hair? Is she getting beard, getting masculine, getting biceps, anything like that? What's going on?
No. This is for distributor Kent Cauldron today, and so he doesn't know a lot more about her.
Okay. All righty. Any other issues she has? I know low thyroid.
She's gaining weight now. She has children that have ADD, 2 boys that have ADD.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the first thing I would do is get her on a gluten-free diet. When she has children with these kind of things, she's got problems. I'd suspect gluten right at the top of the pile here. Okay. And Shar?
Yes?
What would you do for a 165-pound female who's got adrenal hormonal problems, gaining weight, thyroid problems, 165 pounds? What would you do for her?
I get her on 2 of the healthy brain and heart packs, I think.
Okay, perfect. No, that's perfect.
And also for the thyroid, I get her the Ocean's Gold.
Okay. And what would you give her that has some adrenal gland in it that would calm the adrenal glands down?
The HGH.
Well, HGH would be very good because of the pituitary, the adrenal glands, and the thyroid. That's good. Sure, you can give her 6 HGH at bedtime with less water. But let's talk about, it starts out with a big capital D dash and then...
The de-stress.
De-stress, yeah, because it has adrenal tissue in it. Yeah, so I'd give her 3 of those twice a day. And that would be 2 bottles a month of the de-stress. And what would you give her for the thyroid?
The Ocean's Gold.
Ocean's Gold, very, very good. I'd give her 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. None of the bad stuff, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten. And then we got so many people here. I'm going to skip on the dog here. You have to call me tomorrow on the dog. We'll be back after these messages.
All right, let's head to Toronto, Canada. And Jim, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Jim, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. I've talked a couple of times to you about my wife problems. Well, now it's my turn. 25 years ago, I had a detached retina on my left eye. 3 months later, my right eye had the same problem. Doctor, he operated on, they did it with he fixed it with a buckle or something like that, right? You're familiar with that, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the second one, my right eye, was done by his assistant. He was supervising it. He didn't do the right thing, so he had to do it 3 months later. He had to do the same thing again. And he put, a year later, they put an artificial lens in. That lens stayed in for 20 years. Excuse me. Then we moved later on to Niagara Falls, and I went to the doctor there, and he said my cornea was scratched. So I went to a certain place, and they put a new cornea in. Doctor did a good job on the cornea, but he had to take that lens out, and must have been attached somehow or whatever. I don't know what he did, but he pulled that lens out, couldn't get it, so my eye started to bleed. He said, okay, so I'll put the patch on. He says, tomorrow, come back. He said, next day, he says, well, it's been bleeding, but he says, it's draining. Come back 11 days from now. 11 days later, I came back, and he said, boy, he said, that doesn't look good. So he said, right away, I had to go to the hospital in London, Ontario, and this doctor cleaned my iris. He said he flushed it and so on, but he says, well, there's nothing much I can do. Now, my eye was actually very soft, and he says, I might have to fill it with some fluid. Maybe I can do something.
Okay, well, okay, that's enough. I get the picture. Where are we at now? Are you blind in both eyes, or?
No, just the one. But since I've gone on the products, there's been fluid in my eye now, so it's gone almost the same size as before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, how much do you weigh?
About 145.
145 pounds. Okay, do you have any history of any skin rashes or eczema or dermatitis?
No.
Any asthma or bronchitis?
No, never had that, no.
Okay,
no.
any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, bloating, anything like that?
No, not really, no.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Do any of them have any health problems?
I've got one sister. She's got, what she got on? She got diverticulitis.
Oh, diverticulitis. Okay. Char, what's going on here?
I don't know. Does they have a gluten problem?
Yeah, diverticulitis.
Okay.
Diverticulitis, appendicitis, celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease. Okay, diverticulitis. You, sir, Jim, have a gluten intolerance, as well as your sister. You need to warn all your siblings, all your brothers and sisters, all your cousins that came from your mother's sisters, and your mom, if she's still alive. Everybody needs to be gluten-free. And then I would definitely take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month to give you the maximum nutrition for your brain and your eyes, because your eyes are your brain, brain is your eyes. And what would you do? Well, hang on, Jim. We'll be back when we come back. Char's going to tell us what to do to improve the circulation in the eyes after these messages. Okay, Doug, we're going right back to Canada. And Jim, okay, Char?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, what are we going to do? This guy needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs to give his brain and his eyes everything they need. But what would you do to increase the circulation through his brain and his eyes?
I give him the Ultimate Daily.
Perfect. Perfect. Very good. I'd go ahead and give him 3 of the Ultimate Daily tablets of breakfast and dinner. That's 1 bottle a month. And, of course, they're designed to support and promote healthy blood pressure, healthy ocular pressure, and healthy pressure every place, and blood flow in the brain, the eye, heart, and the kidney. So give us a call every couple of weeks, Jim. Let us know what's going on. Let us know every time you see the doctor. And this is going to take some time. Obviously, there's been a problem that's been muddling around for several decades here. And so this is not going to, you're not going to see no pun intended, but you're not going to see a rapid recovery here. This is going to take some work, but we'll work with you on it. Okay, Douglas, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Pennsylvania. And Z, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Z, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. I have a brother at the University of Pennsylvania who had his left kidney removed, and then he was diagnosed with sarcomatoid urothelial carcinoma. He's malnourished. He's being tube-fed. He just he had aspiration in the lungs the other day, and they're trying to get everything back to normal.
Okay, now wait a minute. Let's back up. We jumped around here. Let's go back to this carcinoma. Is this related to the kidney that was removed? Did he have the cancer on his kidney?
Yeah, it was kidney and the cancer, and then they said they found more. They believe more is in his body.
Okay, so they believe it's already spread from the kidney to other places.
Well, they said they see it over the lungs and on the liver.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it could have come from the lungs to the liver and the kidney, or it could have come from the kidney to the liver and the lungs, okay?
Yeah, I'm thinking they're saying because they removed the left kidney, and after that it spread to the liver and to the lungs.
Mm-hmm.
A little small effect. This just happened about a week ago. And
okay. How much does your brother weigh?
The problem he's having right now, the bacterial infection in his guts from the antibiotics, from being on prolonged antibiotics in the hospital. And he came out of surgery, and his white blood count was 70, and then it went to 30, then 20, then it went to 18, then the other day it went to 17.6. But he had aspirations in the lungs, and then it went up to 29. I don't know where it is today.
Okay, what does he weigh? What does your brother weigh?
Right now, he probably weighs 90 pounds.
Okay, how tall is he?
He's about 6'2", 6'1".
Okay, all right, so about half of what he should weigh. And how long has he been in the hospital?
He's been he went to University of Penn about a little bit.
Is he at home? Is he at home, or is he in a hospice or a nursing home? Where is he at now?
He's at University of Penn.
Okay.
He's been there since like maybe February 18th.
Okay, so he's been there for almost 3 weeks, kind of thing.
No, but he's been in another hospital. He was in another hospital before that for a month, Nova Memorial, and they never fed him. They never fed him, and wouldn't give him any tube feeding or anything. So we had to move to the University of Pennsylvania.
Are they feeding him now?
They're tube feeding him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he has a G tube in. Okay, all right. Basically, we have a real serious problem here. He's got a life-threatening problem, obviously. I mean, he could die at any moment. Okay, this is a very serious problem here. And he needs food, right? And so my concern is that they're going to be giving him Ensure, things like that, through his G-tubes. And Ensure is the worst possible thing for him because it's 60% oil, okay? And then the rest of it's not much nutrition in it. It's got a little protein in there. But the number, it doesn't have anywhere close to 90 essential nutrients. So he's got 18 nutrients, and there would be a miracle, okay? And so we have a problem with just basic nutrition here. Is he absorbing? Does he have a gluten problem? And all this stuff is going on here. And so you need to find out if you can bring him some food and give him some food twice a day. And what I would do is give him the Splendor FX shake, put 4 eggs in it, make it with heavy whipping cream as opposed to water, which would be a weight loss thing. We want to make it with heavy whipping cream, 4 eggs, and I want him to have 3 of those servings a day and through his G-tube. And you're looking at, it's going to take some intensive, somebody being there, mixing all that stuff and giving it to him because these people in the hospital are not going to do that, okay? You're going to have to get permission to do that because they might say, no, sorry, you can't do that. We got to keep control of everything. Well, then we have a real problem here. Also, you might ask, barring that, if you can't give him any nutrition, if you can give him some nutrients, if you can give him the, like, Beyond Tangerine, and the Osteo and the EFA Pluses. I would want to give him some Z-Radical, which will help support his immune system, which is one of his best friends here. But he's in real trouble. And so he needs to get good nursing care is what's going to make his life better, okay? He's going to have a better quality of life. He may live longer with just good nursing care than he does with any more treatments from the doctors. And they may just be keeping him there because they don't know what to do with him. And so you need to have a conference with the doctors who are in charge of his case, and then give us a call and say what they say, and then we'll kind of work around it. But he needs some nutrition immediately. I mean, as soon as you hang up, you need to have that conversation with the doctors. I wouldn't wait 24 hours because that might be too late. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
All right, let's head to North Carolina. And Vandy, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Mandy with an M, you're on the air.
With a V.
With a V, Vandy.
Yes.
Hi, how can we help you?
Hi, Dr. Wallach. It's nice to hear your voice.
Well, you're very kind. How can we help you?
Yes, my mother has been recently, on December 19th, had 2 diabetic seizures. She had been diagnosed with dementia, but had been doing all activities of daily living up until December 19th and had done very well. My sister came home for the holidays, right before the holidays, from Boca Raton, Florida, and had left a cake on the counter. My mother, for 15 years, had refused to eat sweets because she had changed her diet because she was diabetic, hypertension, and cholesterol issues, but, of course, had been on the drugs for that. And did not eat any sweets, would decline the offer for sweets and breads and pockets.
Okay, we got to keep moving on here. What's the...
Okay. So she ate a half a cake. Her levels went up to 934. She had 2 diabetic seizures, went into the hospital for 6 days, released to a rehab facility, broke her hip in the rehab facility. Now she is still in the nursing home, has gone from 8 drugs to 17 drugs, and her dementia has progressed to like stage 3.
Okay, well, again, like our previous caller, Vandy, you have a major problem here, okay? What your mom needs is some good nursing care and they're not going to give it to her where she's at. Okay, they're just going to give her an IV drip. They may clean her up and give her baths and that kind of stuff, but they're not going to give her the kind of care that's going to be required to deal with diabetes, dementia, and a broken hip all at the same time. So hang on. We'll be back, and we'll talk about this after these messages. We're back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Young Community, 95 Crusade. And Doug, let's go right back to North Carolina and Vandy. How much does your mom weigh?
My mom weighs 151 pounds.
Okay. All right. Now, Shar, this is a fairly complicated case. We got type 2 diabetes. We got dementia, which could go along with the diabetes. Could be standalone. Could be vascular diabetes. It could be all kinds of stuff. Also, she's got a broken hip. She fell down and broke her hip. So what would you do to a 151-pound lady with these three problems?
Well, she needs two. Start out giving her two healthy blood sugar packs, but then she needs, for the broken hip, she needs glucogel.
Okay.
And
dementia.
And for the dementia, she needs the de-stress and the HGH, right?
Yeah, and the
Ultimate Daily.
Perfect. Okay. So, as Shar said here, Vandy, make sure your mom gets rid of all the bad stuff, okay? And she's going to be in a rehab facility, so they're going to be giving her Ensure and stuff like that. Got to get her off of that. Get her on the Slender Effect Shake, made with heavy whipping cream and 4 eggs. Give her 3 of those servings a day. I would also have her take, as Shar says, 2 of the healthy blood sugar packs per month, full dose of everything twice a day, including the Sweeties twice a day. The dementia, I'd give her the HGH, the Ultimate Daily tablets, 3 of those, each of those twice a day. It'll be 1 bottle of each of the Ultimate Dailies and the HGH. The whole purpose here is to get more blood flowing through the brain. Also, the B12 and the B1 in the de-stress capsules. These are 2 other types of dementias. And let's see here. I would like her, those eggs are very important in case she does have some Alzheimer's disease in there. And that's going to make sure that somebody's taking her blood sugar, fasting blood sugar, before she medicates herself. As her blood sugar drops, and it will, then she's going to have to lower her medication, as her doctors have taught her. And no carbonated drinks during meals. That kind of stuff is kind of funny how the doctors will let people have that kind of stuff, and they won't. And they'll say don't take vitamins and minerals, but they'll let them have carbonated drinks. And so you got to watch all that. Good nursing care is going to be the best thing that's going to help your mom. Good nursing care, and so you're going to have to be in charge here because they're not going to do it on their own in any rehab facility. Okay, Doug, how much time we have?
Got about 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give that to Shar. Shar, we've had a lot of serious cases here today, and what would be your overriding message to everybody out there, Shar?
Well, I think people need to learn their options before they get in a mess, because when you're in a nursing home or whatever, you've given up your options really, because they control your life, and you want to learn how to prevent stuff first and take action so you don't get in that mess in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like a car. Very good. Well said, Shar. You want to put oil in your car before the engine burns up, as opposed to waiting until the engine burns up, and then you got a big problem. Okay? Same thing is true. What you want is a very, very boring health history, and to accomplish that, you're going to have to take all 90 essential nutrients for many, many years before you get sick, and then you'll push back that door or gate where you might get sick, but you might not get sick. Okay, now, Shar, you've been taking the 90 essential nutrients for 25 years. How many times have you been to the doctor in 25 years?
I haven't. For being sick, I have not.
Okay, and so how many terrible diseases have you gotten in the last 25 years?
I don't have any.
And next month you're going to turn, how old are you going to be in next month?
72.
72. Well, would you look at that? If everybody in America were like you when it came to health, guess what? The medical system would be real, what?
Humble, real humble.
They'd be real humble, wouldn't they? Because people would visit them only once every 72 years instead of going there every week and getting on 27 prescriptions and having all these procedures and putting people in the nursing homes. Oh, yeah, the doctors own the nursing homes. Would you look at that? Okay? And, they've created diseases like Alzheimer's disease. That's a physician-created disease. All right? And so all of these things are unnecessary. You can prevent Alzheimer's disease just doing a very simple thing, double-blind study, randomized study by Johns Hopkins by 80%. It's not genetic. It's a simple nutritional deficiency disease, okay? And so thank you, Shar, for your input. Thank you so much, Doug and Richard. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.